Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Smelly Telly. Recently on SmellyTelly.com we got a little bit of a spike in the Mickey Baker jazz guitar lessons. So we're going to whip out lesson number 1 and number 2 here today. This is going to buy me some time to work on the poll winner because that's going to take me a little bit of time to get all put together. But in the meantime, we're going to whip out a couple jazz guitar lessons. That's enough talking. Let's go play some guitar. Alright, so Mickey Baker lesson number 1, he shows you how to play 26 chords here, but we're just going to learn chords 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. The first chord, that one chord, we're calling that a G chord. And to play that, you're just going to lay your first finger across the 3rd fret every single string and bar it. Your second finger is going to go on the 4th fret of the G string. Third finger is going to go on the 5th fret of the D string. Third finger is going to go on the 5th fret of the A string. That makes your G chord. Then you got a G major 7. First finger is on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Second finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string. Your third finger is on the 4th fret of the D string. And your 4th finger is on the 4th fret of your G string. G major 7. Then you got a G major 6 chord. First finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string. Second finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. Third finger is on the 3rd fret of your B string. And your 4th finger is on the 4th fret of your G string. 4th chord is an A minor 7. And the way Mickey draws it is like this. You're supposed to use your second finger to get the low E note on the 5th fret, and then use your third finger to bar the other 4 strings. That's D, G, B, and E. D, G, B, E with your 3rd finger. Now I think that's a little bit difficult to play, so I modify this chord when I'm playing it, so you'll see me play it this way. I use my first finger on the 5th fret of the low E, second finger on the 5th fret of the D, third finger on the 5th fret of the G, and the 4th finger on the 5th fret of the B string. It's the same chord, we're just not playing the high A. Then we got an A minor 6. And the way Mickey shows you playing that, it's like this. Now my fingers, they're not quite long enough to play it like Mickey Baker instructs me to. I find that I mute that string. So the way I play this is I put my second finger on the 5th fret of the A, first finger on the 4th fret of the D, third finger on the 5th fret of the G, 4th finger on the 5th fret of the B. So that's my modified chord. The way Mickey Baker would like you to play it is you use your second finger on the low E note, 5th fret, first finger, 4th fret of the D string, then use your third finger to bar the 5th frets of the G, B, and D string. That's a tough one for me, so I just use my modified version. The next chord is going to be a bit of a stretch for most people if you're not used to this chord. It's a D13 flat 5 flat 9. So your first finger is on the 4th fret of the low E string. Third finger is on the 6th fret of the A string. Second finger is on the 5th fret of the G string. And your pinky finger is getting the B string and the E string on the 7th fret. And the last chord Mickey teaches us today is called the A13 flat 9. That's your second finger on the 6th fret of the low E, first finger on the 5th fret of the D, third finger is on the 6th fret of the G string, your 4th finger is on the 7th fret of the B string. Now all these chord shapes correspond to the home note on your low E string. So as we go through these lessons, you're going to notice that he uses a G chord. And then in lesson 2, Vamp 1, he's going to start moving these movements up the neck. So your G chord is the exact same when you move it up 1 fret, But on a guitar, your G note up 1 fret becomes an A flat. So you use the same guitar chord shape for a G. You move everything up 1 fret, and then it becomes an A flat. After A flat, you get an A. So you just take your A flat chord and you move everything up 1 fret, and you get an A chord. And this works not only with your G major chord, it works with your G major 7. That's G major 7, A flat major 7, A major 7. So a lot of these lessons, you'll see this move up the neck. So all you're doing is you're using these same chord shapes. And you're moving them to the corresponding place on the guitar neck. So I'll put a little image up on the side of the video so that you can see the guitar neck, specifically the notes on the low E string, because that's going to tell you where your root notes are, and it will instruct you also on where these chords are supposed to be. So for an A, your root note should usually be the 5th fret of the low E. For a G, it's the 3rd fret. For D, it's the 10th fret. For C, it's the 8th fret. For B, you have the 7th fret. B flat, 6th fret. 5th fret is A flat. G, 3rd fret. 2nd fret is G flat or F sharp. And then the 1st fret is the F note. And then you get an E. So remember that as we're moving around, and try to remember where you are in relation to the low E and how the chord shape relates to that low E note. For the D 13 flat 5, this is kind of an interesting chord. Your D note is up here on the low E string, so it's difficult to try and think about being on the 10th fret of your low E string when you're playing it down here. So the way I like to think about this is, instead of remembering your root note on the low E, I try and remember my root note on the A string. So the A string, 5th fret, is a D note. And my 3rd finger is playing 1 half step above that. And my 1st finger on the low E is 1 fret below as well. So instead of playing the A on the 5th, you're going to play an A flat on the 4th fret, and that's all on the low E string in relation to the A string 5th fret. So this one is 1 above the A string 5th fret on the 6th fret. This one is 1 below the 5th fret on the low E 4th fret. So these 2 fingers kind of straddle that 5th fret A string. And that's how I remember where the D flat 5 goes, rather than thinking about the root note up on your 10th fret of the E string, because that's a very long distance visually to separate your hand and your eyes. So I like thinking about that note. Then for the A13 flat 9, normally with an A chord, your root note would be the 5th fret of the E string. So in this chord, because it's a flat 9, typically a flat 9, when you're counting your major scale, you would assign a note, one number in ascending order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9 is here. But it's a flat 9, so you want that note there. You just go half a step down to get the flat 9. The octave is here on your low E string. So it's kind of like a flat 2 on the low E string. And then you have the 13, so let's count out to 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So now you have your flat 2, which is the octave of the flat 9, and you have a 13 here. And remember, if you're playing your major chord, this note here is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3. That's your 3rd. Your major scale, your major chords are made of the root note, the 3rd and the 5th. Root, 3rd, 5th. Root, 3rd, 5th. So that's just the 3rd there. this note is actually a 7. And 7s, when you write out a 7 in standard notation, it's actually a flat 7. It's not a true 7. So you're playing a flat 7 here. So there's a lot happening in the A13 flat 9 chord. And that's also why, watch this note, it's going to move up here when you go to the major 7. See how that finger picked it up? You're on the 6th fret of the D string. In the A13 flat 9, you're going to drop it down a fret, and you're going to play a 7. So major 7 means you want to play a true 7 in your scale. Of 7, if you see a 7 with no major notation, that's actually a flat 7. And you're used to playing those flat 7s already. It's just kind of a funny little thing in music. And those are the chords. So try and remember where they are in relation to the root note. And when you see another chord like let's say a B major 7, you just remember that G, A flat, A, B flat, B is here. So a B major 7, you take your G major 7 scale, or sorry, G major 7 chord, and you move it up to the B location. And you have a B. And you're going to do this with every chord that you see that is not in the positions that we just learned. So that was the G, G major 7, G major 6. To play that in C, you find your C note. And it's there. For those of you who are beginners, maybe even intermediate, this is going to be a little bit challenging mentally, so you're going to have to think about it and practice. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, and then you start remembering where these notes are on guitar, and it makes you a better guitar player. So these were really, really fundamentally helpful for me, especially with remembering where things were. So hopefully it works for you. Let's go ahead and start playing the vamps. Lesson 2, Vamp 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lesson 2, Vamp 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lesson 2, Vamp 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lesson 2, Vamp 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lesson 2, Vamp 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lesson 2, Vamp 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, thanks for watching this video today. Hope you're learning something. If you are, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me continue to make more guitar lesson videos for you. And if you're having a lot of fun, head over to patreon.com. I got the full guitar lesson videos there where you can learn each lead guitar lick and acoustic guitar part for these songs. And for the price of a cup of coffee, you also get the guitar tabs. And for a couple cups of coffee, you can get practice tracks and backing tracks. So once you learn all these parts, you can play along with me and we can learn the songs together.